If you want a quick way to enrich your online profiles with email addresses, I've got a solution for you. Hi everybody, my name is Greg Crable and this is my podcast, Something I Learned Yesterday, in which I take one issue from the world of publishing and try to explain it in about 3 or 4 minutes. Although today's issue really isn't only applicable to publishing people, it would be applicable to retail or other businesses as well. One of the basic CDP use cases is to convert unknown or anonymous web visitors to known. That means you have to collect some PII, some personally identifiable information. Usually that's an email address. There are lots of ways to do this. You can capture an email address the visitor enters on your e-newsletter sign-up form, in your shopping cart, or other situations like that where they're actually keying it in. That's a pretty safe way to associate the email address with a web profile. And then you can use that email address as an identifier and enrich the online profile with data from other sources. But there's a faster way to enrich web profiles with email addresses. That involves passing a hash of the email address or a unique identifier from your ESP as a query parameter in your email links. Here's what I mean. I sent out an article with a link to this page. Notice the URL. Now notice the URL. This time I've passed my email address as a query parameter. By the way, I'm only showing this so you can understand the concept. Don't send the email address like this in the open. People will freak out. Use some other value like ID equals and then use a proxy for the email address, a hash of the email address or something else. Now the CDP can capture that value from the query parameter and add it to my web profile. Bingo! I've associated an anonymous web profile with an email address. But have I? What if the recipient of your email forwards it to someone else or posts that URL to social media? Now other people are going to get that same email address in their web profile. Now I've heard that problem called an edge case, but I know for a fact that it's not. I've tested it, and if you collect email addresses this way, you're going to get a lot of junk. It will work fine for a large percentage of your users, but for some users it will be a catastrophe. And the worst part of that is that it will be a catastrophe for precisely the people that you want to have a really good relationship with, because those are the users who are forwarding your emails and posting your content to social media. They are your whales, as my friend Rob Ristagno would say. So where does that leave us? This is a great method for enriching profiles with an email address, and can quickly help you convert a lot of unknowns to knowns and tie your email campaigns together with what you're doing on the web, but it has a very serious flaw. So how do we fix it? First, let's divide the problem into 2 different scenarios: clicks from social media and clicks from emails. I would simply not use clicks from social media in this campaign. In other words, if the referrer is a social media site, don't capture the value in the query parameter. I'm assuming you know what an HTTP referrer is. If not, I'll provide a link below. Clicks from emails are a little more difficult because there's no simple way to distinguish clicks from the correct email recipient and clicks from someone who has received it as a forward. But here are some options. Number 1, if your ESP, that is your email service provider, provides the time when the recipient clicked on the link, and that time matches the time when you collected the query parameter, you can be confident you're collecting the right email address. It's very, very unlikely that the recipient will click on it, forward it, and the person receiving the forward will click on it, within the same minute or something. You could also use a counter. You can assume that the profile that collects the email ID the most frequently is the correct recipient. And the last one, this may spook your readers, but you could also just ask. Something like, our system tells us your email address is such and so. That would be very transparent, and it would allow you to get consent to use the email address in your online customer journeys, but there are clearly downsides if people say, hey, I don't like that. In short, this is a very powerful CDP use case, but it can create a powerful pile of mess if you don't use it properly. If you have questions, please give me a call. My contact information is on the next slide. And if there's some other way I can help you with your business, please let me know. Thanks so much.